across the World Wide Web, on your mobile devices, on social media platforms. This is Jambo Radio! www.jamboradio.co.uk. We are multilingual. We are conversational in the languages you best understand. We are Jambo Radio! Jambo Radio, inspiring transformation.
And then I'll point to you and then you say your name. Hello, my name is Enoch and welcome to another episode of Moments with Sade and Enoch. As you know, my name is Enoch and I'm here with my wonderful host,
Juliet,
and our amazing guest,
Uchenna Njoku.
Uchenna Njoku. Big name, big man with a big name. Have you seen his guns? If you can see the camera, this man has got more guns than me. But
I wish.
On today's show, we're talking to Uchenna about his journey, career journey, and how he's dreamt new dreams, how he's navigated switching careers and overcoming barriers to doing that, and then also importantly, how
like a rhyme.
Right, like a rhyme. Hey, listen, I think from this podcast, what was it? From this radio show, I may just go into music. I think I'm unstoppable at this point.
Well, you're a man of many.
You're interrupting me. You're stopping my flow. What was I saying? So we're going to be talking to Uchenna about dreams and navigating career, but then also importantly, we're going to be talking to Uchenna about how he has held the door open for other people. He has holding the door open does not describe this man. How he has
led other people.
Broken the door and he's been pulling other people in. I think that's the best way to describe Uchenna. And then again, just sort of getting into the psyche of that. I like understanding the why people do what they do. So it would be good to get into the why of that, and then maybe the how as well. Again, just so for myself, for Juliet, and for any of you listening, to learn why, but then more importantly for you and for us, how it's done it, so that we can then go away and also then go smash doors down and pull other people in whatever world we belong in. I know some of you be wanting to join us on the show, so you can call us. The studio number is 0141 530 2787. You can send us a WhatsApp on 074 5990 6822, and you can also send us a voice note.
And if you're on social media, we would love to hear from you. Send us your comments, send us your contribution to the subject at Jambo Radio Scotland on Facebook, Jambo Radio 1 on Twitter, jamboradio.scotland for people on IG, and of course, you can also send us emails at info@jamboradio.co.uk. We'd always love to hear from you.
Yeah, sometimes dreams change, right? Like when I think I'm a bad example. I've just dreamt the same dream. From a child, I wanted to be an accountant. So I think I was gonna say like me, but I was like, nah, it's not like me. But like for a lot of people, dreams have changed. Where maybe when you were younger, you wanted to be this. Actually, like with Frama, for example, our previous guest, when she was growing up, she wanted to be a lawyer. She wanted to work in the UN, humanitarian, because she just had it in her. However, life happened, things happened, and then now here she is working within financial services, and she's enjoying it as well, and she's still able to bring that humanitarian aspect to a financial services career. Wow. So dreams change, and that is something we're going to be really drilling into with Uchenna today around what dream did he have, what happened for that dream to change, and how is he living in his new dreams, and sort of all those challenges that goes with that. And then also, really, Uchenna is a fun guy, so we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun this evening.
Looking forward to it.
On the fun side, Uche, in less than 30 seconds, can you just tell our listeners who Uchenna is without telling us what you do for work?
Okay, so as you said, Uchenna is a fun guy. I'm a very bubbly personality, sociable, and a social
very bubbly.
Yeah,
I have experience.
So they call me a social butterfly, because anyone I meet, I'm always very, very smiley with the person. I love to get to know people and what makes them who they are, because we're all different people. And that's also one of the things that has also led me to having the passion towards impacting on other people's lives, because as I learn from people, and then I attract my own skills too, my own interpersonal skills towards relationship building.
Uchenna, you're at 30 seconds. You're on 42 seconds. I thought you worked in financial services. Christ.
Okay.
We're gonna time everything.
Apologies. Okay. Apologies.
But I mean, following on from that, right? Like, I'm always fascinated by names. As I said, we've got a very strong name, Uchenna Njoku. So, for myself that doesn't speak your language and not from your tribe, you know, what language is that? What tribe is that? What country is that from? And what does that name mean?
Okay, so I'll start by the countries from your own country to Nigeria.
Okay. Nigeria, okay. Fantastic.
Igbo. Igbo is a tribe.
Okay, and that's in the southeast of Nigeria.
In the southeast, yes.
Okay.
And Uchenna actually means the will of God.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Uchenna today, because it's the will of God for you to be here today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the will of God
Yeah.
to be here today. And
Uche is God.
Uche is the will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So Nna is
God.
God.
Oh, right. Okay.
Nna,
Oh,
yes.
you're Igbo as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm a minority here. Okay, Uchenna. Okay. And then Njoku.
Njoku is
Njoku.
actually God of Yam.
Oh.
Okay, where is the God in that? Because Nna is God.
I know, but it's just Njoku just means the God of Yam.
So this is the traditional God.
Yes, the traditional God, because back in the days, obviously before Christianity was introduced, they had deities that they were serving and all that, and then they just named the God of Yam.
Okay.
For
Joko.
harvesting.
Yeah, because you guys are big on yam
New yam
festivals and all
festival.
these
Yes,
things,
yeah.
right?
August,
And
every
even
August.
it's celebrated in Glasgow, isn't it?
Big
Are
time,
you part
yes.
of that?
Sometimes I do attend.
Yeah, okay.
When I can.
Okay.
Sometimes I didn't attend this year.
I
but
really
yeah,
would
but-
love, and this is not a joke, right? Like, I really would love to attend. I just want to feel, because whenever I see pictures and content from it, there's usually a lot of tradition, a lot of dancing, and a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
And I would like to be part of it. I've never been to one. Have you been to one in Scotland?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you're not part of that circle. You're too cool for that circle.
No, I'm
Juliet.
not. It's not that. Enoch. It's just.
It's like all those
No, I don't know much
them.
people actually. That's the thing.
Now you know, this
yeah,
man's gonna
okay,
be a
now,
plug.
Yeah, exactly.
So anytime you have any Igbo-esque events,
Yeah, you can drag me
Yeah,
along.
drag your sister along.
and I do attend the Igbo functions every month. At the end
Oh.
of the month, we
Okay.
organize something.
I didn't even know that
different
there was
different
that, so-
families, just organize something every.
because there's
every
an
month,
Igbo
yeah.
association, right,
Yes,
or something like
yes,
that.
in Glasgow. So
Did you know that?
I didn't know.
There you go.
I had no idea.
so now you know.
Yeah,
and
now I know.
whenever I'm going, I'll just invite you along.
All right,
My
no
pleasure.
problem.
Fantastic. See the connections we're making here. It's unbelievable. The things I do.
That's why you're called human.
Spot on. So, okay, let's just start from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was it like, your life growing up in Nigeria, and how did that lead you here?
So, I would say, by the grace of God, I had a really good life. I had wonderful parents who dedicated their time, their love, and their energy towards giving us the best in life. I went to the best schools in Nigeria, starting from, in fact, like my mom will always say, everything that I ate in Nigeria was imported, and that was the truth, because when I came into this country, the things I was eating when I was a child, like from my 2 years, I remembered eating Frankfurter sausages and all that. So that taste, I still have that taste.
Our childhood was very, very different. Frankfurter sausages.
I still had that taste bud,
Yeah.
And when I came here, sometimes I would even call my mom and say, "Mom, you know what? I still have the taste bud of that Frankfurter. You were right when you said everything I was eating was imported." Yeah, so I had a good childhood, and I was shown a lot of love. And I went to the best schools. I went to Nazareth Primary School, which was a Catholic school, where I made a lot of my friends in Nazareth. And behold, some of my friends I had in Nazareth, I
see
also
your
met them in
friends.
Glasgow.
No way.
They came to Glasgow. One of them is actually a musician, Francis Ogufere, apparently, and many others. And from Nazareth, I went to King's College.
Oh,
Yes,
that's-
King's College. Yes,
Prestigious King's
yeah,
College.
prestigious.
yes. And like I said, even Frama, who just left too, obviously was in the same law school with my mom,
Okay.
and I know how she used to juggle, her life around us, make sure that she took us to school, went to her own law school, finished from law school, came back to pick us, from school, and took us back home. So, yes, and I think it's also helped with exposing me to life generally and how to interact with people,
Okay.
that I met, because it helped build my confidence in social gatherings and interaction. It helped build my esteem. You know, when you have love from your parents, it gives you that sense of belonging whenever you interact with people, and that's why anytime I'm, you know, socializing with people around, I like to also understand their own point of views, you know, like what makes them who they are, and as much as I'm impacting on them as well, they're also impacting on me. Too.
It's interesting, right? And maybe you're already leading to where we're going, which is how did you become this person that is just trying to get people in? And maybe it's because of all that love that your parents showered you, and the frankfurters, sausages, and all that. But no, but it's really, I guess for us parents, it just goes to show that those things we do with our kids and for really our kids really matters, because then it does shape who they are as men or women, or you know, whichever way they grow up. And so you finished King's College,
yes,
and then came to the UK after that, or
so when I finished from King's College, I went to Imo State University.
Okay.
Yeah, where I actually read law. Okay. So just like Frama, I read law. I finished. I was actually the best grading student in my set.
You had to say that.
Yes. Yes, I was actually
Provide just throw that in there.
And I remember the day I was called to pick that award, and my parents were also there to see that happen. When I finished from
so you're very academic.
Yes, I'm a very academic. Yeah, I'm very academic, and
go ahead.
Yes.
I wanted to just say something, but I didn't want Enoch to feel left out.
We're gonna do the Igbo thing. No, say it.
No, I wanted to say, just like he was the best graduating student, I got that award recently as well.
Wonderful.
Well, I was never the best graduating student, but I was gonna put a punch line, but it make me seem little man syndrome, so I won't say it. It's funny because someone was saying, you know those videos they do where they go meet someone on the street and skits, they call them, and you're asking them questions like, what's 2 + 2? And they're making mistakes, they're like 2 + 2 is 3. So someone sent one of those videos, and the guy was just flunking all the questions, like, what's the lowest digit number in this? The guy was getting everything wrong, and everybody thought it was funny. And I was thinking, that guy's probably a billionaire. He doesn't need to know 2 + 2. It's got guys that worry about 2 + 2. So you keep studying. Let the billionaires keep making the billions. So, but I'm not referring to you guys.
All
Continue.
Right.
Okay, so yes, I finished from Imo State University, and then I went to law school.
Okay.
I think I first of all went for service.
Okay.
Before I went to law school.
Okay.
So I did my law school in Lagos.
Okay. So just for our listeners that are not from Nigeria, so when you say service, do you want to explain that in a layman? So
the National Youth Service is is like a military ground where they prepare us for the future. Like, you know, I don't know whether you went to service as well. You know, so
unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
wow.
I didn't.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Okay, wow, okay.
No, that's not nice. I wish I did.
But you're not gonna you're not gonna need it now that you're an entrepreneur anyway. It's only for people that need to work in. So I went for National Youth Service, which is where they try to prepare you or drill you for what you're going to face, you know, in the future. And I did serve in the north for a while in Taraba State. It was very, very fascinating how I learned a lot about the Hausa culture, and also mixed it with the Yoruba culture, with the Igbo culture as well. So it gave me that exposure to the north. I met some of my friends there too, you know, and in fact, one of my friends I met in camp then, in Dubisi, who might even be watching me live at the moment, or if it's live, yeah. But Ndubisi is actually in Canada, and that was where I met one of my very good friends in Canada. And yeah, it was a great experience. After I finished from my youth service, I went to law school. Yes, I went to law school, and law school is a place where most people, because of how hard we read for us to be able to pass the law school, a few of us, about 3 of us, even had to jump down from the ceiling, committed suicide because of how hectic it was. Wow. But the day I managed to come out with a second-class lower division, and my mom called me to ask me, is your result out? And I told her that I made a second-class lower division, and I was crying for making a second-class lower division. And then my mom started jumping up and saying,
like you passed.
You know, she was happy that I passed it. And stuff, like, you know, so, but yeah, after I did that, that was when I had that dream to come to do my masters in the UK, particularly in Scotland. Okay. And I know that's why you maybe you were about to ask me.
No. So I was going to ask, did the masters then lead on continuing in the law part, or was that where things started?
Exactly where. So that's why I was saying there was a change in my dream. My dream was to actually be an in-house legal counsel for one of the oil and gas companies. Okay. Because after I served in Taraba, I went to Lagos and I worked in the legal department for the subsidiary of ExxonMobil, which is Mobil Oil Nigeria in Apapa then. Okay. That was where I had that dream to now become an in-house legal counsel and then propel me to becoming a company secretariat for the oil and gas industry. I met one of my mom's business associates at the time. I'm not going to mention names, but he saw me and he said, "Oh, you know, since you have that desire to study oil and gas law, why don't you go to the UK, study there, and once you finish from the UK, you get into he had an oil and gas firm in London back then." Okay. And so the dream was, when I finish doing my masters, I was going to now
potentially work for him,
in the oil and gas firm. But you know, this dream didn't come to pass eventually. And I was like, oh wow, I've come to a country where, you know, the culture is entirely different and all that. So I needed to, you know, navigate my way through achieving that same dream that I wanted, even though I didn't get it. So at that point, I kept on applying for jobs.
Wait, hold on. So let's go back. So this guy already promised you a job. So you finished. You can't just keep over that. You got to give us the gist. So what happened?
So it was. I don't think it was his fault, because the company actually liquidated.
Right.
It became insolvent, and that was why I wasn't able to work there anymore. Okay. But as I said, I didn't just want to give up on that. I decided I was going to still pursue my dream. I've already studied my masters in oil and gas law, so let me just pursue it to the end. You understand? So I applied for a lot of jobs in the oil and gas sector within Aberdeen, especially in Aberdeen, where is the oil city of Europe, the whole of Europe. So I kept on applying. I think I had about 786 applications. You
make me look lazy.
786 applications I had, you know, and I kept on getting rejections, but I still didn't give up. Fortunately, I made it through to the final interview with Shell. Okay. In the UK. When I went into the final interview with Shell in the UK, my visa was remaining about 6 months to expiring at that time.
So and that's your student visa?
My student visa at that time. In fact, no, it wasn't my student visa. I think it was my post-study work visa. No, my post-study work visa. I applied for post-study work visa. So it was remaining 6 months to expiring. And when I went there, because of the deep love I have for Nigeria, they were actually recruiting for someone who was going to work as a commercial advisor in the UK. But when I went there, after I did so well in the interview, they now asked me, where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? I then said, I see myself working for Shell in Nigeria, being posted to Nigeria to work. And I think that was one of the things that led to my not.
I'm sorry, this is funny.
You can't comprehend it. It's incomprehensible.
I know, but that was one of the things that led to my. I think that was one of the things that led to my not getting the job here. So anyway, that's being said, I didn't get the job. I still didn't give up, and so I kept on trying and trying to. And all the companies I was applying to, they kept on asking for UK experience. What's the UK experience you have and all that? And I said, I want you will give me UK experience first before you allow me to work in the UK, isn't it? And so because it was difficult for me to get that UK experience here, I had to pick up other jobs, like, you know, So I was picking up bottles even in the nightclub and all that. I did picking up bottles in nightclub, did cleaning jobs. In fact, I actually remembered selling sweets for one Polishman too in the shopping mall as at then. While I was picking up bottles in the club, my mother called me one day. No, I think either she called me or I called her. And then she said, what are you doing by this time of the night? I was walking home that day at 2 a.m. in the morning. And she said, what were you doing by that time you were walking at home at 2 a.m. And I said, I just came back from my job. She said, what kind of job is that? I said, I was picking bottles in the club. She started crying on the phone. How can you be picking bottles in the club? So they crying out. I said, Mom, look, listen, there is dignity in labor in this country. I'm even enjoying what I'm doing. That I want to build myself and my resilience. That I want to be able to spread my own wings and fly. And that was how she
calmed down.
She calmed down and she said, okay, I'm leaving you. I trust in you, what you can do. So I hope I'm not taking much of my time talking about my experience.
I'm enjoying it.
So eventually, after I did all those type of menial jobs, I thought about it at some point and I said, I wasn't still getting this work experience that the UK companies are asking for. I then decided that I was going to go back to Nigeria and see how I can get a job within the corporate sector using my qualification. And so when I went back to Nigeria, I got a job with Fidelity Bank as a legal officer.
Okay.
So I worked there for 2 years, and I built my experience. Well, after having built my experience, while I was in Nigeria, I applied for a job in the UK.
Okay.
With Royal London Insurance Company. And I was called for the interview, so I had to come back to the UK.
The man is legendary.
Wow. Yeah.
I had to come
So you
back.
flew in for an interview. That's next level
Yeah.
stuff. And I was fortunate. Imagine flying back for the interview. I flew back to Nigeria, to the UK, and I had my interview. I got into the UK 11 p.m. at night, and then the interview was 8:30 the following morning. And I went for that interview, and behold, I got the job.
Ooh.
And that was the start of very good things coming my way. So I'm just going to keep it short and simple. While I was in Royal London, did very well, worked there within 6 months. After 6 months, I managed to also apply for another job.
So Royal London was down in
Edinburgh.
In Edinburgh.
In Edinburgh, yes.
Okay, so your coming back to Scotland was Edinburgh.
Yes.
Not Aberdeen anymore.
No, not Aberdeen anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. So Royal London Insurance Company, worked there for 6 months. After 6 months,
what role was that?
So I was a case manager.
Case manager. Okay.
In Royal London Insurance Company. While I was there, I was still, because it was a fixed term contract.
Yep.
Okay.
But because I just wanted to have that UK experience.
How many months was the contract?
6 months.
6 months.
6 months fixed term.
And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did that, and before the 6 months, I started applying for other jobs within the financial services as well. Since I was now.
So what year was this? So just for timeline's sake.
So that was 2020. That was 2015. I was in Royal London. Yes.
Okay.
2015.
Okay.
January 2015. I was in Royal London.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. And I did 6 months there. From Royal London, I now moved to Tesco Bank.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I moved to Tesco Bank. Started as an underwriter, a credit underwriter in Tesco Bank. So I met while I was in
Edinburgh as well at the Gale.
No, this one is Tesco Bank at Renfrewshire in Glasgow.
Okay.
So I had to come back to Glasgow.
Okay.
So while I was in I was doing underwriting. There's a friend of mine who has turned a brother too. Severiano Gomez, which I'm sure you know the man. Severiano Gomez, yeah. I met him in Tesco Bank. He was working in AML, anti-money laundering, then back in Tesco Bank. And so I, just started chatting and we became friends, and I was chatting. He told me he was in AML and all that. And I had that passion too to join AML, because I was coming from a country like Nigeria where I was already conversant with the high risk environment when it has to do with financial crime and fraud.
So just for our listeners that are not familiar, AML stands for
anti-money laundering.
Okay.
Anti-money laundering, yes.
And this is an area within financial services.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So obviously, what you have to be compliant with rules and regulations that will protect the bank's interest from losing their license to operate or even heavy fines and all that. So so I met Seviano Gomez there, and he told me he was an AML officer. So when he told me that, I was too shy to start asking him, how to get in there. And I didn't know whether I was going to be too forward. So I now had to start researching out a lot about it here in the UK. So I studied for it, and then I prepared myself for applying for that particular role.
Okay.
And I applied while I was in Tesco Bank. And within 2 months, he found me in his team, working with him. And so we were laughing about it. We were laughing about it the other day, how he found me working with him in his team, and I built my career. I started enjoying working within financial crime.
Okay.
And from Tesco Bank, having worked as an AML officer for I think I did that for a year. I felt I needed to
what next?
What next to move up, promotion. So I applied to another bank, and that was RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland. Okay. So that was where I now went to. I applied for Royal, and I got the job in Royal Bank of Scotland.
And did your law school and law degree?
Yeah.
Did they come into play to help you in any way on this journey you've now found yourself on?
Yes, I should have said when I finished my
time at Royal
when I finished my masters. Yes. The only reason I didn't mention practicing law probably was because I did that as a voluntary job.
Okay.
While I was looking for
just something
UK experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I went to Denton Solicitors in London.
Okay.
And I practiced in Denton Solicitors for about 1 year and 6 months.
Okay.
But what I really dealt with was employment law, conveyancing, and repatriation as well, that had to do with immigration. So where people committed crimes in the UK and they needed to be repatriated back to their country, I was liaising with, the law enforcement officers based on the treaty laws that they shared, with the repatriating countries.
Interesting. So if you don't have passports, don't mess up. No, I'm joking. Is that the case? Like if you've not collected a British passport, don't mess up.
Don't mess up.
Wow.
Or else in our culture it says, "Ona, you're going home."
On the way, off you go.
Ona,
don't go and do kitty kitty.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait till you get a British passport, you can do kata kata. Because man, you'll be dealing with repatriation.
Yes, of course. You know how it works.
Okay. So I guess a lot of people don't know this, so maybe this is something that really should be.
Yes. So I did that. Thanks for bringing my attention to that.
Okay, and then I guess your time at Denton probably then helped you when you were applying for Royal London because you have UK some kind of
UK experience.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it was and most of us we do that. We go for voluntary jobs without getting paid because I wasn't getting paid in that job at all. But yeah, it's propelled me towards getting to where I am at the moment, one way or the other. So where was I before? I was saying how
Jambo Radio Scotland.
I was just trying. I missed what I was saying. So I was talking about being in RBS, right?
Yeah. Yes. And just before you continue that story, so just going back because we're trying to sort of trace how things have moved from going to law school. So at this point, I don't know what you're thinking, Juliet. At this point where you've done Royal London, you've done Tesco Bank, you're on your way to RBS. At this point, have you decided this is now my career path?
Yeah. So
or you've not gotten to that point of decision yet?
Maybe like that pivotal. When was that moment where it was like, okay?
It was in Tesco. It was in Tesco Bank when I was an AML officer.
Okay. And what drove that? What made you make that? Was it realization or whatever you want to call it to say, okay, maybe this is the future for me now?
Yeah, I think it was because I was enjoying being able to investigate.
Okay.
A lot of financial criminal activities.
Okay, so that's kind of similar to what a probably a lawyer would do.
Yes. So because
paying attention to the detail.
Yeah.
Reading a lot.
Yes, because it was part of compliance as well. So legal and compliance goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's something that you can always transfer skills and experience that you have gotten from the legal industry.
Yeah.
Which obviously I had while I was back in Nigeria, and also a bit of it while in the UK. So that was why, and I was just enjoying, getting paid to be nosy and looking at people's accounts, to see what's
when you say it like that, it sounds nice.
Yeah, so
nice?
Getting paid to be nosy.
I don't know. Some things are better left unknown, right? So because I used to work in a team where I saw people's salary, and some things you don't want to see it because they're like, really? That's what our guys get paid. So I don't know.
Well, that is part of the job I currently do anyway. So I was just enjoying it.
So, and then this is now on the way to RBS.
Yes, on the way to RBS from Tesco.
Edinburgh.
Tesco.
Yes, to RBS, and RBS ended up becoming. I was in RBS as a high risk customer review analyst.
Okay.
In which there are
some amazing titles.
Yes. In which there and again I made my mark and decided, look, I needed to also get promoted.
Yep.
So when I wasn't getting it there and I didn't see a future, with my promotion in RBS, I applied to Barclays
Another
Bank.
pivot.
Okay, indeed. And how long were you at RBS before you started realizing I should have gotten a promotion?
Yes, I was in RBS for 2 years.
2 years. So in your view, 2 years is enough time for you to have gotten a promotion?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
That's interesting. That's interesting because people will have different opinion about that. I don't know what your opinion is, but I guess it's good to set your own standards, right? So for you, that's your standard. Like, if you're not promoting me in 2 years, I'm out of here. Because some people would say 5 years, some people would say, I don't know, whatever. Some people it's 1 year.
Don't have a plan.
Some people don't have a plan, just so wrong with it. So it's good that you've got that. And I guess that then drives your actions.
Yeah, to be honest, I keep on wondering how I'm working in these companies and I'm hearing someone saying he or she has been in that role for 15 to 20 years. And I'm like wondering, you understand, you don't have any, trajectory for your life.
But the beauty of it is, so I used to think that as well, but I've now come to that point where we need those people in the world.
True.
And then we need you people in the world. We need those people that will be
balance.
there. Balance. Because we need, and those people are not forcing themselves to be that. That's just the life that works for them. Where they're settled in, they know what they're doing. When they go in at 9, they know what they need to do. They can finish at 4 or 5 and go.
And move,
easy.
Of course,
the money they're getting is enough for them to live the life they want. And then we've got people like you, they're like, right, I need to go next.
Yes.
And then we need that balance. Because if everybody's like them, the world will move forward. If everybody's like you, the world will move forward. Because everybody will just be jumping ship every 6 months.
Cycle of life,
So it's a good, lovely balance. So we need to all appreciate ourselves. They need to appreciate you, you need to appreciate them. Like,
true.
Yeah.
True. I agree on that. But personally, I don't like staying in just one position for too long. You understand? I like to grow.
A bubbly guy.
I like to
bubble.
So it's part of growth, isn't it?
Yes.
Bubbling.
Yes.
So and that was from RBS. I now got to Barclays Bank.
So that was in 2020.
So 2020 during the heart of COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, myself and one of my very good friends and brother, Dami, his wife, and myself,
joined around the same time.
We both of us were the ones who set up a team, a brand new team in Barclays, and I worked in that team for 2 years.
Okay.
And then when I also
another 2 years.
The financial crime exits team.
Okay, what's that?
What does that mean?
Financial crime exits. So in that role, my responsibility was to let customers of the bank know that we do not have that risk appetite to continue to bank with them.
So you're
anymore.
gonna exit them.
So we're going to get them out. Do you understand? So I was the
Okay.
one issuing the notice to close. So I was the bad guy, but doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, for the right reasons.
So we both of us set up that team. I did that for 2 years. I trained a lot of people. I trained about 20 people, even including people from India as well, towards setting up the team. And when I now realized that I needed to also, get promoted again, that was when I started applying for jobs and within Barclays, because I enjoy working for Barclays. It's a wonderful place to work. So I applied for the current role I am in now at the moment, which is the assistant vice president position within compliance. So I applied for that role and I got it.
Fantastic.
And
so
since then I've
so I'll tell you, so tell me if I'm wrong, every role you've applied for since Royal London, you've gotten, or is it the case that you've left out the ones that you didn't get?
Every role I've applied for,
you've been getting them.
I have always gotten the jobs.
Nice.
Every role I've applied for.
When I grow up, I want to be like you.
and I think that's what has also propelled me to being confident to supporting other people,
because you're like, I've done this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I'm coaching them on how to answer questions in interviews, I'm letting them know it is different from the way you answer questions in interviews in Nigeria. Even your CV.
When Nigeria, you mean Nigeria?
Nigeria, yes. Even in Nigeria, even the way your CV has to be written, it has to, be able to target the interviewer so that you stand out from other candidates. So these are the things that have also made me feel, okay, I have succeeded in this area. You understand? I've created
so
a niche in this area.
It's not strange to you.
Yeah,
it's not new.
It's not strange to me. You understand? So that's why I now help a lot of people to, with doing their CV reviews for them.
Okay.
Also coaching them for their interviews, because I've just by grace and by hard work as well, been able to get the jobs I've applied for since then. So
just to again piggyback a bit.
Okay.
So a lot of what you've shared is, I have done this, I saw this, I made this move, and I which is fine. So did you never have anyone supporting you on that journey through those years? Maybe holding your hands, maybe mentoring, maybe someone you spoke to, like, I'm thinking of doing this, what do you think? Or has it just purely been 100%
my auntie,
one-man band?
My auntie,
okay,
in Kiru Akubo,
okay,
who is in Canada.
She used to live in Glasgow.
She used to live in Glasgow.
Right.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
She used to live in Glasgow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what role did she play in all this?
Because she's also in the same area, financial crime and compliance.
Okay.
So she was always supporting me with
resources
and how to also answer the interview questions. You understand? So and she just encouraged me, gave me that motivation. She said, look, she succeeded herself. She's doing very well in that area, and she believes I can do it, that I'm even younger, so why shouldn't I be able to do it even better than her? So that motivation, made me forge ahead.
Yeah. Okay. It's good, because
go ahead.
Thank you for sharing that. Just wanted to pull out the fact that, sometimes for some of us, we do need that one
person.
Yes.
And it could be a momentary thing, or it could be a longer lasting thing where there's just that someone in the background that I can sort of lean on every now and again.
Yeah.
And again, I always tell people when I chat to them, I'm like, you need someone to speak to.
Yes.
And you could get to where you're going in 10 years by yourself, or you could get there in 5 years by just someone holding your hand. So for example, if I'm an accountant, I've been doing this for about 20 years now. If there's a young person about to start their accounting journey, if they speak to me, I can tell them shortcut to take.
Yeah.
Because I've made those mistakes. I'm like, don't do that. Do it this way.
True.
Where there was no one to tell us back then, where you're sort of making stupid mistakes then, because there really wasn't anyone. So it's good to have that person guiding you.
Yes.
Don't do this. Don't go to that company, or don't apply for that role. No, because if you do that, that will happen and things like that.
Yes. Yeah. You're absolutely right. This same auntie is the person I flew into the UK with, and I remember the time I came in with her as well. When we stopped at Heathrow, I bought all these jackets from Tejo Show Market, not knowing that the code here is not smiling. So as we just came out from the plane, as we just came out from the plane, the kind of wind, woo! I was like, oh my God, it hit me. I told my auntie, you know what? I don't want to do the masters again. I want to go back to Nigeria. I was literally walking back to the plane because it was so cold. And she's come, don't embarrass me. Just come here. Come and take my own jacket and wear. Do you understand? That's the same auntie that has also, guided me all through.
Yeah, and I mean, there's I don't know if you've heard this before, Juliet or Uchenna. It's something around the person that picks you up from the airport will determine your destiny in a new country. I don't know if you've heard it before. Yes. It's a saying. It's a bit jovial, but
or like maybe the first people.
Yeah, because they will. Because if the person that picks you up works at Tesco Bank, works at Tesco, maybe as a customer assistant, straight is telling you this is how to get into Tesco. Yeah. Because that's all he knows.
Yes.
True. But the person that picks you up is Barclays, is going to be like, right, this is how to get into Barclays.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I always, and then it feeds into that whole thing around what's your circle. I always talk about that. Be intentional about your circle. Always look around like, who are the guys in my circle? Who are the people in my circle? If the people in your circle are people that are, not to use a derogatory word, below you or just around your level, you don't have people above you that can uplift you, then you need to do a circle revision to see, I think I need other people in my circle.
Funny enough, it might not just even be that they might be below you. It might just be that they don't have the drive that is necessary for, where you're going.
Where you are going,
exactly.
You're very driven, you're going to take over the world very soon. No, it's true. Juliet, this girl is on fire.
What did I tell you when I saw her?
You said some Igbo word, I didn't know.
I said she's very clever.
She's
very clever and a fast learner. When she was talking about.
Thank you. But it's about Uche.
No. It's about. But again, because people will be listening to this, right? So just to pull out all these points around, having someone. Be careful, not careful, be intentional about the people around you.
True.
And continuously, because the people around you now may be people you need, but 5 years from now you may need to revise that again.
That's true.
So it needs to be intentional and ongoing.
It does happen. It's true. It does happen.
Okay.
I think what I want to touch on, Uche, is so you had this intention of being an oil and gas lawyer, right?
Yes.
And then at some point you would have seen that, okay, this dream wasn't coming true. It's okay for us to just be here now, smile. We're just laughing about it because you've actually gotten on like a dream career. But what was it like back then? And what strategies would you say that you adopted, right, to ensuring that you were able to still stay on the right track?
So I'm someone who remains focused at every point in time in life. Whenever I'm a go-getter. Whenever I see something I believe would enhance my life or develop me, to be a better version of myself, I build on that.
Okay.
So the moment I realized that most of the oil and gas lawyers within the oil and gas sector anyway, they were finding it difficult to even leave.
Okay.
Leave an opportunity for younger ones like us to come in. I felt that there was really no point still wasting my time having to continue to work to become an oil and gas lawyer.
So it was about knowing when to move.
Yes, move at the right time, because time waits for nobody. And there is also no substitution for the best. You have to be the best in anything you're doing, because there is no substitution for the best. So I felt that if I keep on wasting my time and looking to become an oil and gas lawyer, and I keep getting older, I wouldn't get to the level I am right now in life. I haven't achieved what I want to achieve in life yet, but I am on the right pace. So that was at that time that I had to decide that, look, since I am now enjoying financial crime and compliance, I better do all I can to make sure that
I'm the best in that space.
Yes, exactly. And that's where I come to that point, saying I don't want to be in just one particular role. I like to learn new things. Do you understand? Which will also help me towards growing in other areas. Like if you go to a particular company and you're working in just one role, you will not be able to touch on other areas within the within the system that can help you become versatile, so that any department you go to, you're able to
flexible,
work with or without supervision.
And I think it takes a bit of being not even takes a bit. It takes being intentional, right?
As
So
well.
even like for me, I'm an accountant, but accounting is very broad. You can be a financial accountant, which is one everybody knows, like
Yeah.
P&L, balance sheet.
Yeah.
That's financial account. That's accounting 101. Then you can be a management accountant,
Yeah.
which those are the people doing the budgeting and trying to forecast the future and see where the business is going. And you can be a regulatory reporting accountant where you're in financial services, where you're working with the regulators. I guess similar a bit of what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
There's compliance in there as well, and legal and all that. So, and what I did on my journey was I intentionally moved around such that now, if I'm looking for a job tomorrow, if I'm looking for a job, I can look for any of those roles and I can go in and talk the talk because I've done it before. Albeit maybe I've not done one in the last 5 years, but if I get in, I can pick it up again and off you go. So I think there needs to be that intentionality again around just being broad, being versatile, just as you said. And sometimes, but then being broad and versatile doesn't probably relate to everything. Sometimes you just need to own into something. Again, some careers, you need to own into something and just be very good at that thing, and that's the way you can really grow. I'm sure there'll be some careers that's how it works.
Yeah.
Rather than dipping in and out of everything. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
So if I get what. So my career is not like I'm going into different departments. I'm working within financial crime.
So it's just
So I'm working within financial crime and compliance, and I have stuck with it for the past 6 years. But I am not sticking with just that particular role. I'm trying to also build on other areas, in financial.
So basically, like stacking more knowledge.
Yes, and experience.
Okay.
Within financial crime. So and it's one of the things that's also helped me to make deciding on also doing my ICA qualification, which is the International Compliance Association diploma that I had last year, because I believe that with the way things are going in the financial services sector, you might not even be able to do the particular role that I am currently doing now without having that certificate. Without having
so
that.
you prepared yourself for the future.
Yeah.
Yes, you understand.
Okay.
So, Barclays, you've been there for 4 years.
Yes, 4 years now.
The story we've heard is around how you've helped a lot of people coming to Barclays, but not just Barclays, you've helped a lot of people on their career journey. How did all that start? I mean, I don't know if there was a starting point, but you've shared the story of how you've done your own thing and how your auntie has also helped you. But then how did you then get into that space where you started pulling people in?
Okay. I think my source of inspiration helping people came from watching my mom.
Okay.
I watched my mom while I was growing up. My mom would even to her own detriment, she would help other people to grow. So I think, I just got used to that kind of person, and I felt, it was positive. I was seeing something good about it, empowering other people. So it wasn't even only in the UK that I started helping people to get into the corporate world. Even when I was in Fidelity Bank as well, there are a few people that I met who wanted to come into the legal team in Fidelity Bank, and I assisted them with preparing them for interviews and letting them know the kind of questions that will be asked at the interviews. And while I was in Barclays, I would say for me, I like to go into an organization and make a mark, because I want people to have a good impression about the black community as well.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's very important, because there's a lot of negativity.
You're carrying that on your shoulder.
Yes, there's a lot of negativity around it, and which I'm not going to say now. But I just want to prove them wrong and make them see
The talents.
the talents that we
And the value as well.
Yeah, and the integrity as well, because integrity is one thing, especially working in the financial services.
Okay.
You have to have integrity and credibility. So anytime I go into the banking, working in banking, I always try to maintain those things, integrity and credibility, because it now paves a way for other people. Uche has, in fact, while I was in RBS and I left, there's some people in RBS that have told other people that have joined RBS that this Uche used to work here before, and it was this, it was that, and all that. Good things, thankfully. But that is because I want to just create that mark. Because if I don't create that mark, it will be difficult for them to give other people that opportunity. It will be difficult for me to speak to HR, for instance, and say, look, I have this person I want to introduce to the organization. They don't need to question who that person is. They already know.
Because it's coming from you.
Yes, they already know that this young man has proven himself well. He has given us every reason to believe that people that will be coming from me will do great exploit like I have been doing. So it's also helped with me building up that platform, which is the Black Professional Resource Group in Barclays. I was one of the founders. Pioneers. You understand? You get, and I'm actively participating in it as well. Liaising with HR. Sometimes I even query the HR and tell them, why is this not happening? Why is that happening? Why is this not happening? And the rest of them giving the Black a voice in the bank.
It's interesting. So if I'm listening to this now, and maybe I'm just 1 year or 2 years into my career, or I'm at that place where I'm not really comfortable yet, I'll be thinking, yeah, he can do that because he's comfortable, he knows what he's saying, he's confident. I'm not at that place yet, so let me just sort of hide my head, don't raise any eyebrows and just do my thing. What would you say to those people that, so basically hide my head, I don't want to help anybody, I don't want to let me just do my own thing and stay low key, as they say. What would you say to those people?
I would say to them that they are doing a disservice to themselves, and they're also doing a disservice to their community back home.
Okay, do you want to explain that?
Yes. No, but honestly, because what I'm going to say is that because there are a lot of talents. You understand that we have a lot of talents.
Let's start with the disservice to themselves. So how are they doing a disservice to themselves?
Because they're allowing themselves to be in just that position, or even only them growing. Do you understand? When you can bring a lot more people, and the more people you bring, the more voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's a disservice to themselves.
Yes.
Okay. Then a disservice to the community. Do you want to expand on that one?
Yes, a disservice to the community. For me, having a disservice to the community means you're not allowing the community
to give people opportunities
to display their own their own talents. Do you understand? You're suppressing their talents. And I know of many guys who I have supported to getting into Barclays Bank right now, and I liaise with their line managers, and their line managers are telling me, wow, these guys are good.
Yeah.
Do you understand that they are really good? I know of one person, I won't mention his name too. He just joined in about 12 months ago.
Okay.
And as we speak, his line manager who I've been chatting with has even said that they are giving them the opportunity. They are giving him the opportunity to even go and start shadowing with AVPs. From
next level.
Yeah. Do you understand? And now that same person has been able to introduce people to come and fill up his own position while he's already going to shadow for as an AVP.
We have to bring this amazing conversation to an end.
Okay.
But before we do, quick one for you. Do you have any question for myself or Juliet or for both of us?
Right. I have a question for you. You said I have
Enoch.
Enoch. You said I have a lot of guns, right?
Okay.
I'm asking that with all the jobs, with the way you are, operating, how busy you are, also with your family, your kids. How do you have the time to go to the gym to build this type of muscles? No, honestly, I know one time
the glasses looking and thinking, what muscle does he have?
I know one time you took me to the gym and I could not walk for the next 2 days. So I don't know how you juggle it.
The answer I'll give you, so especially this year, I've been more disciplined this year because this year I had a target. I was just chatting about it to someone earlier. So actually I have a target around this is what I want to achieve with my fitness this year. So there's a target I've set and I'm using Excel to track it.
Nice.
But I'll share the details of that later.
Wow.
So that helps having a target and having a reason to do. So when I'm even tired, I still push. So I'll give you an example of little changes I've made. Even so, before when I take my kids to activities, in the past, I would have sat in the car for that 1 hour. But now instead of sitting in the car, I'm like, what can I do for 1 hour? Let me go for a walk or let me go for a run. So every time I'm thinking, how can I do
Improve
something.
on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's of how I've done it. And then again, my food intake as well. I've intentionally changed what I eat
That's
and
actually
how I
important.
eat,
Yeah.
That
because
helps
that is the biggest factor for me anyway. Because
that's why you're having the dimension.
but anyway, so that answers so hopefully that answers the question. That's of how I've been able to do this. Just I've been more intentional this year. I mean, I've generally been a fit person, but this year I've been intentional around setting targets, and then by the end of the year I'll look at that Excel sheet. I'm on track currently. It's coming to Christmas, things are gonna get tough, but I'll try. I just want to hit that target around activity level, and then also around my physicality, and there are metrics I'm measuring. I don't want to talk about it
Work
yet.
in progress.
Work in progress. So I've still
Work in
got
progress.
six more weeks or so to go.
Well done.
So
Nice. Okay.
there's
Nice.
a tradition we have here at
And Juliet, I wanted to ask Juliet a question.
go
as
for
well.
it.
So Juliet,
Yeah.
I'm impressed with what I can see with you already, and given the fact that you've just been here for 2 years, isn't it? How have you managed to adapt so far? Because you appear to be articulate. Someone who is you seem to be someone who's been you seem to be someone who has already been here for longer. So how have you managed to adapt?
I would say God, really. I don't think there's any other answer to that. It's God, because God has been able to give me wisdom as well as strength. I would also say just support as well from family and friends keeps me going, because I'm a self-motivated person. So yeah, that's the summary.
Okay,
But
nice.
I'm sure she can tell you more later. And I'll add, I'll add something for Juliet. She's playing down. I mean, her being here is testament to the fact that she's driven. She just goes, she takes stuff, right?
Wonderful.
She came to me 7 months ago and said, I want to do more speaking. I want to do more. I mean, just randomly, I've never met this person before. She just came and said, hey, can I have 1 minute? I want to do. And then because then opportunity came up here, and I remember there was a lady that spoke to me, and that was how she was here.
Wonderful. That's good.
Similar to your story, there was something I wrote down when I was talking about you. I said, you're a go-getter. She's a go-getter. You see something you want, you go get it. Because some people are like, yeah. You guys you see it. You're like, what can I do to get it? Go get it. So I think you guys have got a lot in common around traits for success. However, so coming back to us, so we've got a tradition around where you leave a word of advice for the next guest. The last guest, their word of advice was be courageous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that really lines up with what you're already doing, but hopefully to continue to inspire you to be continue showing courage in the face of adversity, in the face of pushbacks, and continue supporting that resilience. All right, so for our next guest, do you have a word of advice? And try and keep it very quick. Just 60 seconds.
I challenge you, the next guest, to empower other people the way I have also empowered people.
I love that.
Empower other people. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. And I think that lines up with your own ethos around just supporting the wider community, for you and for the wider community. So it's been an amazing show.
Interesting, actually.
Yeah. It's gone too quick. It's gone too quick. It's been lovely chatting with you, Uchenna. Hearing that journey from law school to now financial crime,
dreams,
and
getting
then just
to beautiful destinations.
Beautiful destination. And then this is just the journey. I mean, you're still on a path to greatness, right?
Thank
and
you.
you're already a role model to so many people, myself, Juliet included, and hopefully some of the people that will be listening to this will find you a worthy role model. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And
Enoch.
that's everything from us today. I've been your amazing host, human Enoch Adeyemi, and my wonderful
Juliet.
Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, Juliet, a lot.
amazing
Thank you.
super human being, Uchenna Njoku. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you all.